old story about the actor who comes home. His house is totally, completely destroyed. And his neighbor says to him, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was standing outside mowing my lawn, and I saw your agent pull up to the front of your house. And he walks up to the door, and as your wife opened the door, your entire house exploded. Everything just completely disappeared. I mean, it's totally leveled. There's nothing going on." The guy goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait a minute. My agent came to my house?" I want to talk to you this morning about the smell of fear. How many people in the room have heard that term? That's right, the smell of fear. Dogs can smell fear in human beings and other animals. As a matter of fact, every single canine can smell fear in other animals. Almost every single mammal has the sense to be able to smell fear in another animal. And because we're mammals, that means we can too. And if we can smell it, that means your clients can too. And when you approach your business with fear, and you start to do what you normally do, fear-based instead of inspiration-based, it's going to come out in the way that you present yourself. It's going to come out in the way that you approach, especially a new client. And they're going to see it. And they're going to smell it. I would like to talk to you about the difference between desperation and inspiration. And I'll use a good example. During the recent Stanley Cup playoffs, my favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, who everybody said had no business being there. They were in 8th place. What the heck are they doing? Went on to beat the first place team, the President's Trophy winning Washington Capitals, eliminated them in 7 games. And folks came to the coach afterwards and said, "So what were you doing? I mean, your guys were playing with real desperation." He turned around and looked at him and said, "Playing with what?" "With real desperation." He said, "No. I told my guys, since nobody expected us to be here in the first place, go out there and play. Go out and play. Do what you guys do." That inspired his team so much that they not only knocked off the first place team in 7 games, they knocked off the Stanley Cup champions in another 7 games. And went on to the 3rd round. This wasn't desperation. This was a team that believed in themselves and believed that they had the capacity to do what they could do. Had they approached it with fear, they probably would have gone the same way as their 2 opponents, who, in the Game 7s of each of those series, I can tell you from watching it, were playing with desperation. They felt like they absolutely needed to win. And that was their undoing. Margaret Rotini, who's a realtor in our chapter, she and I share a lot of clients. We're in related fields. I write mortgages. She sells and lists houses. We have both seen what desperation will do to people in our related fields. It makes people make mistakes, and worse than that, it makes them make the type of decisions that they cannot then go back and fix. And one single desperate decision, guys, can be your undoing for a very, very long period of time. So approaching your business with inspiration instead of desperation. I'm in a situation where I've never seen before. I don't know what to do here. Don't get desperate about it. Look for some inspiration. Number one, we have a great resource here with BNI. You've got folks who've been doing what you've been doing probably for a longer period of time. You have touchstones. You not only have a sales force in this room, you have other professionals who may be going through the exact same thing that you are. Nobody has to do this alone. We can look to each other for inspiration. We can look to other professionals in our business for the same inspiration, or we can just dig deep and find it in ourselves. Because those of us who have been doing what we've been doing for a long period of time know where that spot is. Where we say, I have to do this in order to pull myself forward or propel myself from behind. Desperate times do not call for desperate measures. Desperate times call for inspired measures. When you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs, then, my friend, you will be a man. Any questions? Or a woman?